Good day, everyone. This is Sidney Fofe of SL Podcasts. I'm excited again today to be sharing information with you, the information that is meant to change your life and make you better. We are on another important topic today, which I'm very excited about as always. We need to understand some of these things because they are critical. These are the things that shape up our lives. These are the things that change our perspectives. We need to be aware that we go through trouble. The topic for today is troubled times, time for strengthening. We go through challenges in life. We go through different phases in life. We go through trouble. We go through happy moments. All these things are things that are part and parcel of our lives. We need to be aware that there are times that we go through good times without the interruption of the bad times. When there are times where whatever we touch turns to gold, whatever we do works. And there comes times again in life where everything we do doesn't turn out the way we want. We go through tough patches. We go through bad times where nothing works. These are not pleasant times. These are not good times. These are not the times that we enjoy ourselves. And there are other times again when we have a mixture of good and bad, where we have bittersweet experiences, where other things are working and other things are not working. We go through all these phases in life. When we do well in business, while we have our parents dying, or we are doing well in other things, and we are doing badly in others. Relationships crumbling while you are having scale up in businesses. These are the times that we need to be managing every time. And we need to be understanding of what is happening and how we need to react in all these situations. We need to be aware that we all enjoy good times. This is a fact. We wish life could be a series of blissful moments every time. We just wish things could be working every time. And it's a fact again to say we dread our low moments when things are not working. Whenever trouble comes, we feel like hiding. We feel like disappearing and reappearing when the dust has settled. This is how we feel every time. This is how we react to different circumstances and different things in life. Troubled times are painful moments. This one is a fact. Whenever we go through troubles, these are painful moments. We don't usually enjoy going through the things that are not working or the things that are pushing us and pressing us. These are the things that we really don't enjoy that much. So challenging times are gruesome moments. We need to make peace with all these things. Whenever we go through troubled times, we know we have to understand that these are not pleasant times. To spend nights without sleeping, to spend time troubled and thinking of all the things that can go bad are not good moments. And we need to be understanding that these are times and these are phases and these are seasons that we go through. Whenever we are faced with crushing moments, we feel like hiding until the storm passes. This is our nature. We want to hide from trouble. We want to hide from painful experiences. We just want to hide so that these things can pass and then we live our lives again, happily ever after. This is how we perceive life, and this is how we look at life. And these are the phases, and these are the seasons, and these are the times we live in. We need to be understanding of all these things. As much as we enjoy good times, we wish all the time we can be having good times. We just wish good times should last always. But at the end of the day, we understand that good times can't last always. There are times that we have to be enduring the troubled times. Troubled times are endured. You don't enjoy them, but they are endured. But we can have a better view of the troubled times if we have a better perspective, if we have a better view of what they can do for us. We don't grow in good times. As much as we enjoy good times, we don't grow that much in good times. In fact, most of the time, we let our guards down during our good times. And sometimes we make errors. We make mistakes. We make costly errors when our guards are down. Whenever we enjoy life, we tend to relax a bit. We tend to do stuff that we cannot do when we are going through some testing times. These are the things that we usually do, and these are the processes that we usually go through. Good times are counterproductive for many people. This is what we need to understand. We are wasteful when we go through good times, and sometimes we are very inconsiderate. We don't consider a lot of things. Sometimes we just spend because we are going through some good times. Finances are coming in, and we are a little bit loose in how we spend what we have, because we always assume that good times will last always. Life can always be tough and challenging. This is a fact of life. There are times that we go through some good spells in life, and we must be aware that whenever we go through good spells, we must enjoy ourselves, and we must relax a bit and flow with the flow. But what we need to be understanding is, whenever we tend to go with the flow when we are going through good spells, we should be cognizant of the fact that good times won't last always. We need to be prepared that after every good time, there might be a tough patch coming. And are we prepared for that? Did we do what we are supposed to do during good times, saving for the bad times? These are some of the things that we need to be looking at and considering, because we are going through all these patches in life, and we have to be managing everything correctly. Troubled times are good times in disguise. This is what I want us to understand today. As much as we dread troubled times, but these are good times in disguise, because they prepare us. We learn more when we are going through trouble. This is a fact, and we need to be aware of the troubled times and the bad times. We could be understanding that whenever we are crushed, the honey from the honeycomb is squeezed out. We can't take out the honey from the honeycomb without applying a little bit of pressure. And troubled times are life applying a little bit of pressure on us to squeeze out the juice from us, to squeeze out the honey from us. We need to be aware of all these things. Whenever you want to extract the juice from a fruit, you apply a little bit of pressure. You squeeze it a little bit. You squeeze it, You squeeze an orange to get an orange juice. You squeeze an apple to get an apple juice. And this is how life takes the best out of us. It squeezes us a little bit. And we need to be cognizant of all these things. Troubled times is life squeezing out the juice out of us. We need to understand some of these things. Troubled times are the purification chambers. We get purified. We get better. We get a little bit pure from the heat that comes in the purification chamber. What we need to be cognizant of is it takes high temperatures to take the gold out of the waste. If at all we want to be better, we shouldn't be dreading troubled times, because these are preparatory times where we are purified, where the waste is taken out of us so that we can remain pure and are having good intentions and pure intentions about life and what we do. Precious things go through crushing moments to separate what is valuable from the waste. This is a fact. You're talking diamonds, you're talking all these precious materials. They are always attached to waste. And a little bit of crushing takes the waste out of the precious things. For the waste to be separated with the precious material, it has to go through a little bit of crushing. We need to be cognizant of the fact that life will do that because we are precious, because there's something good in us. We have to go through the crushing moments so that the pure things about us can be separated from the waste, from the useless things that have attached themselves to us. We have to go through troubled times so that we can get out the other side pure and valuable and precious as we are. Useless things or waste have a tendency to attach themselves to precious things. This is what we need to understand. And it takes a little bit of crushing, a little bit of pressure to separate the two. Valuable as we are, precious as we are, there are things that will sometimes attach themselves to us. And during good times, we can't see that there are waste attached to us. And we can only realize what is happening whenever we are going through crushing, and whenever we are going through tough times, whenever we are going through the heat. That's when we can realize that the gold is separating from the waste. Tough times or troubled times are good times for us, or they are good times in disguise, because they purify us and they lead us to better places. If we can have this mindset, if we can understand and look at life this way, we are not going to hurt ourselves whenever we are troubled or whenever we go through tough patches. We will realize that these are the times where the precious things that are within us are separated from the waste that have attached themselves to us. If only we could understand the importance of purification and what it takes to get us to the next level, we would stop dreading troubled times. We shouldn't look at our tough patches as if we are being punished or as if life is not fair on us, while in the actual fact, these are purification times where we are separated from the waste, where we are getting better instead of getting worse. We need troubled times to purify us and get the best out of us. We need to understand the importance of troubled times. These are important part of our lives. So they are important part of our growth and development. We need to understand that about troubled times. Our troubled times mark our importance and value. Every time we see ourselves going through some tough patches, it is because there is something valuable in us. We can't just be tested. We are tested because there is something in us which is valuable. There is something in us which is precious, which needs to be separated from the waste. We go through troubled times because there is something in us which is important. We learn important lessons by the things we suffer. This is how we are supposed to be looking at life. Like I said when I started, we don't learn much during good times. In most cases, we let our guards down. We are a little bit wasteful. We are a little bit complacent when we are going through good times. And it is troubled times that put life into perspective for us. We understand that we learn valuable lessons from the things we suffer. It is very important. We make amendments and adjustments during our times of trouble. That's when we put life into perspective, or life is put into perspective for us. When things are not working, we look at things properly. We look at things in the right way to say, why are things not working? Because I've set systems in place and I've done what I needed to do, and things are not working. These are the times that we need to be making adjustments. These are the times that we need to be making amendments. Amendments in our character, amendments in our attitudes, and amendments in the way we do stuff and the way we spend and the way we look at life. Troubled times are the times that are pushing us to this kind of decisions where we can adjust and we can reconsider a lot of things. Life asks us questions that require answers, and we are forced to address the questions during troubled times. Troubled times lead us to a place where we address the questions that life asks with honesty. We are honest when we are pushed. When life is easy and we are enjoying life, we don't need to be honest about anything. But when we are faced up with trouble, we get to a place where we are honest to ourselves and honest to our environment, to say things are not working and what can I do to make things work again. We need troubled times. We need times when things are not working so that we can have a good perspective about life. It is important to know that we are troubled because of what is within us. We are surrounded and battered by problems and troubles because of the value we carry. This is one of the critical things that we need to understand. All of us, we came to this world packaged with something which is valuable. And whenever we go through trouble, it is something that comes to try to stop the valuable thing within you to emerge. Because if you can be who you are supposed to be, you are going to be successful and you are going to do things that are going to improve your life. And sometimes troubled times are there to try to stop you from becoming. And we need to be aware, because a lot of people, because they misconstrue troubled times, they end up going into things that are hurting them. They go into behaviors that are counterproductive. Instead of realizing that they need to be making adjustments and looking at life in the right way, They tend to do stuff that are hurtful to their ambitions, and they are hurtful to who they are and who they can be. Even though we are pressed from every side, we are not crushed. And that is the most important thing that we need to take out of what we are saying now. We have been pressed from every side before, and we are still standing. We are still here, and we are not crushed. If we can have that perspective to say the things we have suffered before didn't kill us, we are still here. And the things that we are going to experience in the future are not going to crush us either. We are still here, and we are going to be better with time. We have survived many pressures, and we are still standing. These are the things that we need to be consoling ourselves with. These are the things that are supposed to be putting life into perspective for us. We have suffered many setbacks in the past. We have gone through trouble in the past. We have gone through bad spaces in the past, and we are still here. And we are still here because we survived the pressures and all the things that were not working for us. We are challenged from within, and we are left not knowing what to do, but yet we have not thrown our hands up in despair. Sometimes we go through spaces where we don't even know what to do or what to say. We are left paralyzed, and we are left with nothing much to do. We are paralyzed into inactivity because we don't know what to do or what to say. And it doesn't necessarily mean because you are going through that patch, you should throw your hands up in despair. We have to hold everything together, knowing that troubled times won't last always. As much as good times won't last always, troubled times won't last always. We have hit rock bottom many times, but yet not broken. This is a fact of life. Life has smashed us many times, but we are not broken. We may have suffered some fractures. We may have suffered some dislocations, because this is part of and the process of life. But at the end of the day, we are not broken. We are still here. We have survived all the crashing. We have survived all the smashing. We are still here. We may still be hunted down and accused for many things, but we are still the beloved of our Father. It is very important to put life into perspective, to say it doesn't matter whatever we are going through, the accusations, the things that are not working for us. We are still worthy of life, we are still worthy, and we are still the beloved of the Father. We need to understand, and we need to put life into perspective, and we must hold on to the very end. And we are concluding by saying we must admit to the fact that with all the things we have suffered, we have not been destroyed. This is a fact of life. Whatever we have withstood in the past, we can still withstand in the future. The things that didn't kill us made us better, and we are here standing, and we must be stronger than yesterday because we withstood pressure of yesterday. So we can withstand the pressure of today and pressure of the future. We need to understand that it is a fact that we have gone through all these phases of life, all these sequences, and we are still here. We need to be aware that we are going to go through the future purification chambers, and we need to get out on the other side as pure gold, as valuable as we are. Because like I said, valuable stuff has waste attached to it, and it takes a purification process to separate the valuable item from the waste. We need to be going through all these purification chambers and get to the other side better. We can summarize our experiences as, while we are going through the worst, we are getting on the best. We might be experiencing the worst, but if we can hold on, if we can have our focus on the right places, we are getting on to the best side of ourselves. We are getting to the best side of our experiences. We can get better. We can scale up our lives. We can be better after the troubles. Our troubled times are not for our distraction, but are times of strengthening. Like we started off by saying, troubled times, time for strengthening. We need to look at our troubled times as time for strengthening, not destruction. Because we have gone through all these troubled times and we are still here and we are soldiering on. We need to be aware and we need to put life into perspective to say the troubles we are going through are for strengthening. We are getting better because of the things that are not working. The good times are not as good as the troubled times because it takes a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of pressure to squeeze the honey out of the honeycomb. It takes a little bit of pressure to take the juice out of the fruits. And if we can have that mindset, if we can have that perspective about life, we are not going to throw our hands up in despair whenever we go through troubled times. We can get to better and we can experience better part of our seasons if we can look at life the best way possible. Troubled times, time for strengthening. Thank you.